In this episode, we're going to take a look at Congressman Jamie Raskin from the United States trying to actually defend the UK and their free speech against British people who seem to be on the side of the United States, and the United States versus the UK, whose free speech is actually better these days.
He has previously described you as, quote, the most pig-headed person he'd ever met.
Why do you ban journalists who oppose your views from coming to your events?
He was likening the United Kingdom to North Korea.
I am the most open person to any journalist.
Undoubtedly, you're the handsomest man in the world. But I'm asking you a different question, okay? Why do you ban journalists that you disagree with from your political events, like from your convention?
I don't.
So what did Congressman Raskin make of that exchange?
In general, he's a bit of a free speech imposter. He would like to pose as a free speech champion or martyr, but I saw very little evidence of that.
He has previously described you as, quote, the most pig-headed person he'd ever met. So today was never going to be a meeting of minds, was it?
But no, I suppose not. That was when I told him that we had a revolution against people like him. And I certainly trust the wisdom and good sense of the people of the UK not to put somebody like that in office. But, you know, he's somebody who pretends to be on the side of free speech, but just defends the free speech of racists and homophobes and people like that. But he doesn't defend free speech across the board.
He would seriously push back on you saying he only defends the free speech of racists and homophobes.
He certainly defends his own free speech. I guess what I'm saying is that he came over here to complain about that there was a woman who pled guilty to racial incitement. Look, there are different ways that different countries deal with this, but he was likening the United Kingdom to North Korea.
What did you think of that?
I thought that was absurd. I mean, you know, and there are actually objective measures of the state of speech freedom and press freedom all around the world. And I was reading them during the hearing. And the UK is very close to the top. It's above the United States now under Donald Trump.
The case of Graham Linehan, who's a creator of a comedy series here, he was arrested in the UK for 3 anti-trans tweets. 5 armed police officers met him at Heathrow, having returned from Arizona. And I wonder if you think that kind of case could cause problems between the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and your President, Donald Trump.
Well, look, America has a very robust, wide open tradition of free speech. And we read stuff like that online all the time, right? But we were reading that Nigel Farage was advocating sanctions in the US against the UK because it has a more restrictive speech environment.
Well, to be fair to him, he did not say, I am calling for sanctions. I want US sanctions on the UK. He did say there were potentially honest conversations that could involve trade. He didn't call for sanctions, did he?
Okay, well, regardless, my point is simply every country has a different tradition. And what we're talking about, his main target was the Online Safety Act, whose main purpose is to protect children from child pornography and other kinds of harmful content. We've got laws regarding that, too. And so it just struck me as a very bizarre presentation to come here and to advocate for the United States to criticize the UK or sanction the UK or do something against the UK when it's one of the freest societies on earth.
There are genuine concerns in the UK about free speech. Only this morning, a government minister said we need to look at laws concerning online speech. You may not like the messenger in Nigel Farage, but there are concerns from a number of people about it in this country. Do you accept that?
Right. And far be it for me to interfere in UK politics, that every society on earth is in a struggle for freedom and for decency and for civility. And we should be doing whatever we can to help. I just thought it was very strange out of all the countries in the world that we single out the United Kingdom, our democratic ally there, and start attacking them.
Congressman Raskin, thank you very much for talking to our audience. Thank you.
Now, this lady, she kind of comes across as the typical 50-50 CNN type of person, you know. I've got to be fair to both sides, no matter if one side is 80% horrible. It's like take for instance, the guy walks out and says, "I'm a hard right winger. I love Donald Trump, and I'll unalive anybody who moves." And you watch it on the news, and the lady's like, "Well, what you guys, maybe he has a point." Some issues you can't be 50-50 on, is what I'm trying to say. And she tends to lean more to the right, I think, And the main issue of this discussion is, these days, the UK is definitely more free speech as far as coming from the government. The official voices, official power, than we are. You can have no dissent against Donald Trump. He's coming after you. Your university, no dissent against the right at all. Your university, your attorneys. I mean, anyone who disagrees with this man, that's their enemy. So, it's very questionable how far up the poll we rank. I don't think it's questionable at all, actually. I think we're falling. I mean, as anyone outside the United States, I'm sure they'll tell you, and anyone who's being real with themselves in the United States. Let me know what you guys think. That's all I got for this episode. Thanks for watching.